Hello everybody, welcome along to another edition of Path to the Pinnacles as we build up to Warroa Lastia Stakes Day and also the C Corp Veretha Stakes, the last chance for the 3-year-old colts and geldings to work their way into the WA Guineas. Of course, we have got Taylor Courtland and Digby Beecham with us today as we build up to these two feature races. To you firstly, TC, hello.
Nice to be back, Tim.
And Diggers, I'm sure it's nice for you to be back too.
Absolutely it is, Tim. Really looking forward to having a chat about these two features at Ascot on Saturday.
And you're on the board, my friend. Well done.
Yes, thank you. I've come to the party, albeit a little bit late, but better late than never.
Hey, and you know what? There is plenty of time for you to make up ground, and you might be able to do it in the running of the Warroa Lastia Stakes this weekend. Group 2 level, weight for age, $250,000 up for grabs. It hasn't been the Railway Stakes key form reference over the past few years, and that's mainly been left to the Asian Bow Stakes as the launching pad for the Railway Stakes winner. And it's been almost 50 years since the horse has gone back to back. That is what Massimo is looking to do this weekend. Let's have a look at the market for our Warroa Lastia Stakes. Resort Man is $3.30, $3.80 is Massimo, $4 Comfort Me, Carly's Karma $5.50, $10 God Has Chosen. Stage Man on the back up at $17, Notorious One is on the back up too at $19, $26 for Captain Carl's, $41 for Western Temple. They will go without Ace. Let's have a look at the speed map, TC.
Well, I think Massimo's your leader in the race, Digby. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I thought Western Temple lands in the 1-1. Comfort Me probably sticks from barrier number 1 on the back of the leader. That leaves Resort Man midfield. God Has Chosen goes back. Notorious One settles back. Stage Man settles back. Leaves Carly's Karma, I thought, probably outside the leader, Massimo. I'm not sure if they have much of a choice.
And the reason I've come to this race, if we're talking Carly's Karma, is a view to getting her rating to a point where she just goes into a Railway Stakes. Clearly, if you win this, you are there. So you go to this race intending to be really positive. I would think you leave nothing in the locker. And we did see her spring the machines most recently when she sat very handy to the speed and then exploded away from her opposition and running good time and winning over 1,400 metres. Now, she has to make a quantum leap. She's shorter in this race on Saturday than she was in the Asian Bow last week, which is quite remarkable given this is at weight for age. Maybe that gives you an indication maybe about the depth of this field. In saying that, there's horses here in excellent form and come out of a really good form race, that being the Eurythmic.
All right, let's start with the winner of the Eurythmic Stakes. That, of course, is Resort Man. He is just a winning machine at the moment. The winter form, it's certainly stacked up in the Eurythmic. Can he make that level to now weight for age racing, albeit weight for age racing in the heart of the Carnival, Diggers?
Well, the market says yes. He's flying the horse. Michael has never had him going any better than he is now. He perhaps got the best part of that Ascot track when winning, but he broke 122. Now, they went hell for leather early doors in that race, but he settled forward of midfield. He darted back to the fence, Brad Rawiller on Resort Man, and he found the line well. Now, there were only half a length between the first 4 across the line in that race, but he only rises 1.5 kilos here, where you've got a horse like Comfort Me who goes up 4 kilos. They're meeting, obviously, at 59 kilos weight for age, but he meets Comfort Me considerably better at the weights for beating him, half a length, TC.
My small knock on Resort Man going into that last start effort, I thought he was at his best with a little bit of cut out of the ground. Maybe the really firm track, he's not absolutely at his best, but he's ticked that box. There aren't too many more boxes this horse needs to tick over 1,400 metres. He's going to get a beautiful run, you think. I see him settling midfield. I think there's a chance you believe he lands 1-1, Digby, and if he does land 1-1, he's a massive hope.
That's the thing here. I reckon the first 100 metres of this race will give you a really good insight into his prospects in the race, because if Western Temple lands 1-1, he has to settle a pair further back. If he lands 1-1, which he could do, and Chris is on Resort Man, Stephen on his immediate inside aboard Western Temple, I think they'll both come out and they'll just see, they'll have to weigh it up, because Chris won't keep pushing if he's going to be 3 deep. He'll come back, but if he gets half a length in front of Western Temple in that initial 150 metres, 7,500 metres, I dare say Chris will look to get that 1-1.
Let's have a look at the next of our contenders. It's Massimo. He's looking to go back-to-back in the race. He's just a flat-out model of consistency, this bloke, TC.
He was really good in the Eurythmic, Tim. Jumping from a wide gate, he had to do some work to find the fence initially. Excellent dream. then put the sword to him a little bit. He restrained, then sat outside the leader, had to make 2 or 3 runs during the race, was still there fighting it out, was only beaten less than half a length by Resort Man. Wait for Age, we know this suits Massimo. He's a tough, grinding on-pace galloper. I don't think there's a lot of speed. I think Brad Parnham can find the top and control.
Yeah, he's a proven weight for age performer, and that's what sometimes you look at when you go to a race like this. You say, well, okay, which horses tick this box? You know that Massimo is capable of performing at weight for age. That's a massive advantage. The same applies to Resort Man. The Idyllic Prince isn't the level of opposition that he is going to encounter on Saturday, Resort Man, but it is weight for age. So he's ticked that box.
All right, the next horse we'll have a look at is Comfort Me, who I felt after the Eurythmic Stakes that he wouldn't get a better look at winning a Group 3 race than that. It's set up beautifully for him. Am I being too harsh, Diggers?
I'm in the minority with this horse because I was keen on him first up, and I know a lot of people said, oh, perhaps he was a bit disappointing because he had the run of the race. That was a fast run 1,400 metre race, like a seriously fast run 1,400 metre race, and he's been beaten half a length first up. Resort Man, rock hard fit. Massimo again was first up, but he's proven at weight for age. This fellow's been beaten half a length. Now, he meets them worse at the weights. I get that. But I think with the benefit of that run under his belt and where he lands in the run, I think he's a live hope. He's my on-topper here. Comfort Me.
I'm on the other side of the fence. I'm sort of siding with Tim a little bit. I thought everything just looked to fall into place first up for Comfort Me. He had 2 brilliant trials. He headed to the races first up, got a beautiful run in that race. Under the conditions of the race, he was the weighted horse there. Everything fell into place. How he turns the tables on Massimo at weight for age, I'm not too sure. Conceding from gate number 1, he's going to get every opportunity again. But Massimo, that little bit more fitter now, first up as well. I can't see him turning the tables on Massimo.
No, I can certainly understand your sentiment. He's currently, as we sit here doing the Path of the Pinnacles this morning, he's $4. I think he gets softer in the market as we get closer to jump time. Yes, he's going to land in a good spot, but I think they'll come for others.
I'm so happy that this mare has accepted into the Group 2 Weight for Age feature on the weekend. That is Carly's Karma. She just adds tremendous X factor to this race, TC. Can she win this race?
Probably. Probably she can. She's going well enough. 2 starts ago in a Zero Metro wins race. She's beaten Ain't No Other Man by less than a length. That form in a Lusty you wouldn't think holds up, but she continues to elevate. This is a profile of horse I always have trouble with. She's rapidly rising through the grades. Now she gets to a Group 2 weight for age 1,400 metre race. Probably going to have to do a little bit of work outside of Massimo. I couldn't get her anywhere near the price she's in the market, but that's the way I do prices, and I can see it. I can understand why people will be backing her, but if she starts anywhere near $5, I won't be backing her.
In my very convoluted betting strategy last week, I did have her a chance. I thought she was a live hope last week in the Asian Bow had she gained a start. I'm not as bullish about her prospects on Saturday. Even saying that, as we said earlier, she's shorter on Saturday than she was last weekend.
All right, let's get some numbers. They're the runners that are in single figures for this weekend's Group 2 feature. TC, I understand you're going to one that we haven't touched on yet.
Well, I've got Resort Man on top, the 5. I think he gets a beautiful run. The horse is absolutely flying. He ticks a lot of boxes, as we've spoken about. But my second number is God Has Chosen, who in the Eurythmic probably wasn't suited. I think at stages he might have been 15 lengths off the lead, back in the field. His late sectionals were really good on a day. You couldn't make too much ground. I think the small field suits, and he's a horse that just jumps out of the ground second up. He's undefeated second up, 3 from 3. So I'm going that way at the value. I thought he was really good value in for second. Number 2, Massimo. Number 6, Comfort Me. Third and fourth numbers 5, 8, 2 and 6.
Same numbers for me as TC, Tim. I am 6 Comfort Me, albeit I concede he's not suited at weight for age. I just think he gets a gun run, and I thought he was okay fresh. So he goes on top from 5, Resort Man. Clearly Michael's got him flying. 2, Massimo, your likely leader, and 8, God Has Chosen. I can certainly see where TC is coming from. 6, 5, 2 and 8.
Time to look at the second of our features on Saturday afternoon. It is the C Corp for Ether Stakes for the 3-year-old colts and geldings. We'll have a look at the market here, and it is the Neville Parnham pair to the 4. Bustler is $2.15, $3.40 Snowdome. All the King's Men $5, Man Crush $8, Rejuva King $11, Upper Limits is $18, and Uncle Jared is your rank outsider at $34. Speed Map is interesting here, TC.
I would be surprised if there's any curveballs thrown up from a speed map point of view, Tim. I think Snowdome finds the front. I think Man Crush comes across Diggers and finds outside the leader. All the King's Men 1-1. Uncle Gerard on the back of the leader. Bustler upper limits back in the field, and the Rejuva King, despite the inside draw, probably settles last.
Okay, so you were keen on Snowdome in the Belgravia. Do you stick?
No.
Why not?
1,400 metres.
He's won a size third up previously.
Very, very slowly run sires.
Yes.
And Bustler was not in that field.
Okay, so Bustler for you is head and shoulders above Snowdome?
At 1,400 metres.
All right,
Okay.
well, let's profile Bustler then. He is unbeaten 3 for 3. This is the toughest test to date, but I think if you go by what he's been doing over the past couple of weeks with his 2 runs against the older horses, there is nothing to suggest that he is not capable of winning this listed feature.
No, that's exactly right, Tim. Then you saw his first up win at 1,200 metres. Really good win. Drew well, had a lovely run, cleared out from his opposition. Most recently, drew a bit sticky. Yes, he was 3 deep with cover. They broke 110 and he still pulled away from them again at his second run, this time in over 1,200 metres. That turn of foot's exciting, TC.
He put that field away last start within about 3 bounds at the top of the straight. Bustler, I know he was 3 deep with cover, and at stages at Ascot, it's not a bad place to be, but on the day, it was really fence orientated. You needed to be up on speed somewhere. He did something on that day that not too many horses did. So he's really progressive. 1,400 metres looks to suit. I don't think they're going to run along too hectically. I think they'll let Snowdome stride a little bit, but it's not going to be a manic speed. So his turn of foot's going to come to the fore, I think.
So he, in all likelihood, probably has the back of all the King's Men. So you would think he's at the 600, 3.5 lengths off them. He's got Snowdome to run past, and we know that Snowdome's good. Man Crush, tough. All the King's Men, he's probably going to have his toe ball. But again, when you've got that point-to-point speed, like good horses possess, your jockey's confident, your trainer's confident. We've spoken to Steve Parnham on the Sports Daily, and he said that's one thing that excites him most about this horse, is his point-to-point speed. He said he's one of the most exciting horses he's riding going around, and Steve has ridden many a good one as he builds, hopefully, towards a northerly.
He has got a really tough task on his hands, though, to beat Snowdome. He is the size produce stakes, as you boys referenced earlier on. He's got a bit of weight, TC, but what we have seen from Snowdome is he's come back in pretty good shape as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, absolutely. He was beaten last start in a Belgravia. You'd think that's the right form lines. Amelia's Jewel got him on that occasion. She was very good on Tuesday, despite what some people are saying. Snowdome, I was interested to hear Scotty Embry. He came on after the Belgravia on the Sports Daily on the Monday morning and mentioned some feedback Chris gave to Neville that Snowdome didn't really like, that sort of being held up for that furlong and then trying to sit and sprint. So I think they might just try and find his rhythm out in front. I think that's going to suit him over the 1,400 metres, and they might go along a little bit quicker than they did in that Belgravia.
Interesting race here for Snowdome. Neville Parnham's quite keen to see if he can get the mile with this fellow. He sees no reason to suggest he won't run the 8 furlongs, much like his father did. So he's a watch for me on the weekend, because it wouldn't be a shock if he goes there and wins, because he is a really, really exciting colt. And if he finds the fence and dictates, or certainly goes through the gears that he wants to go through, rather than having to sit outside a horse like Man Crush, that needs to be respected. I think we'll learn more about Snowdome and the future planning of Snowdome this campaign after Saturday.
All the King's Men finished second in behind Snowdome and gets his first crack at turning the tables from that size result on the weekend. He was terrific last time out over the 1,400 metres against his own age group, Diggers. And of course, we know he beat the older horses at the start prior. That was back on AFL Grand Final Day at Belmont. He comes in here as a live chance.
Yeah, he certainly does, Tim. He, for me, is the second selection in this race. I think he lands in, as TC quite rightly mentioned, he lands in that 1-1 position. He follows a horse like Man Crush, who's tough. I know he led the other day, but I think he looks like a horse who'll be better when he's chasing and following a horse. He's got a bunny, and his record at 14 strong. He looks like, for all intents and purposes, a Guineas horse all day, every day. He just looks like that, and he's going particularly well. I think he's a live hope. It wouldn't be a shock if All the King's Men wins the Faritha for mine.
No, I agree with that. He's shown great versatility in the 66 plus first up. He came from back in the field, as you mentioned. Diggers chased down that bunny, and then Paul Harvey took that race by the scruff of the neck, found the front, was free rolling out in front. So the versatility he's shown this preparation has been outstanding. He's gone to a new level. I'm sort of in your corner, Diggers. I think he can turn the tables at 1400 on Snowdo.
So there are a couple of the key contenders for Saturday afternoon Seacorp Faretha Stakes. Diggers, we'll start with you. Who's your numbers for the 3-year-old feature?
Look, no bravery awards here, Tim. I am with Bustler. I think he's your starting point. Off what you've seen, he's unbeaten, he's exciting, and he's got a turn of foot. So I love horses that can get from point A to point B really quickly. He can do that. He's on top from 3, All the King's Men. Lovely run throughout, you would think this fellow gets, and Trevor Andrews is going along nicely. This horse just looks like a Guineas horse. I think he's a live hope in the Group 2 WA Guineas as well. 1 Snowdome and 2 Man Crush. I'm 5, 3, 1 and 2.
Nothing more to add. She's there.
Excellent. All right. Now, Diggers, you got on the board last week with your $100 strategy with Miss Kentucky. Let's see if you can make up all of the ground on us two now.
Well, I'm $75 with Bustler. He's sitting here this morning. He's $2.15, so he's short enough. But I'm also $25, All the King's Men. I'm thinking All the King's Men. If there is to be an upset in the Faretha, it's going to be caused by All the King's Men.
So your strategy is solely on the Faretha Stakes. TC, what's your strategy this week?
Fingers crossed there isn't an upset because I'm $80 Bustler. And then I'm going to spend the other $20 on God Has Chosen. I think the good value at still $10 at the moment as we record.
All right, well, I'm going to go $50 on Bustler and hopefully we'll at least get money back for this week. And then I'm going to have 50 on Massimo, the class horse, to go back-to-back for the first time in 50 years in the Listeer Stakes on the weekend. This time next week, we're in the build-up to day number 1 of the Pinnacles, the Placid Arc Stakes. Make sure you come back next week and join us on Path to the Pinnacles. We'll see if we can find you some winners on what's going to be one of the really good days of WA racing.
Join Jim Walker and Digby Beecham on the Sports Daily each weekday morning from 5:30.